It's always good to get to the root of the problem, but it isn't always as easy to see how we got ourselves into this financial mess.
Ain't that right? KXLY4's Colleen O'Brien joins us this morning, and it sounds like the government's really putting a lot of heat on these banks.
Yeah, that's right. And you brought up a good point last hour when we talked about this, and that's, okay, so the banks were giving loans to people who couldn't afford them. The people were taking those loans, and they knew they couldn't afford them. So there's plenty of blame to go around. However, getting back to the root of this crisis, back in the good old days, you wanted to buy a home, so you'd take a loan from the bank and pay it directly to the bank. Well, now those loans are being bundled together and sold by the bank as stocks on Wall Street. This allows the bank more money for more loans. This is good in theory, but when the housing bubble burst and masses of people defaulted on their loans, it was the big banks that got burned. Now they've stopped handing out loans to whomever wants one, which has slowed our economy. So the government thinks it's found a way to get us back up and running. Take that $700 billion and buy the bad loans from the banks. This would free up banks to start lending again and the American people to keep spending. Of course, it isn't always as simple as handing over $700 billion, is it? No. This would put our country into further debt, bringing the total to $11.3 trillion. And there's a fight between the Bush administration and the Democrat-led Congress. Before any of this money gets handed out, they want some certain stipulations. They want protection for homeowners. They want more oversight over the Treasury Department. And, you know, they just want protection for the homeowners. I mean, they just don't want to hand over this $700 billion like they say the Bush administration does.
Right.
Yeah, really interesting. I was watching a lot of the national reports, and still, if you give homeowners protection, a lot of people were saying that still doesn't fix the root of the problem, the lending practices, which really need to change.
Exactly. And we always get the questions, well, what about this big pay for the executives? They also want oversight over that pay as well to make sure they're not just walking out the door with extra money.
I think a lot of taxpayers, people who haven't foreclosed on their homes but who are paying the price, want to hear that.
Exactly.
Colleen, thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot, Colleen.